You know, the Partnership for Southern Equity is a really important organization. We have been born out of the notion of equity in Atlanta and have determined that we need equity in the metropolitan region and equity in the South. Therefore, we are the Partnership for Southern Equity.
We are a network of over 50 organizations and hundreds of individuals that have come together around the metropolitan Atlanta region for one reason. People use the term equity and equality synonymously, and they are not the same.
I decided to take the C-Trans bus, and I was shocked at the ridership. I mean, they had to turn people away. It was too many people to even give them the bus, and then later that year they cut service. Hopefully, in the next few years, we can get a referendum on the ballot, and we can get MARTA to Clayton County.
In short, equity creates a path from hope to change. That is our guiding star. Equity means just and fair inclusion.
A lot of people in the communities that I serve have no concept whatsoever about T-Spot and what it's all about.
So how can we ensure that we have economic development opportunities throughout the region? An equitable society is one in which all can participate and prosper. The goals of equity must be to create conditions that allow all to reach their full potential. A lot of times we have decisions that are made that benefit people financially, but it doesn't benefit our environment or the people that may be affected by that. We also want to work hard as a collective to reduce local and regional disparities.
Reconcile our differences on transportation as a county and as a region.
Our elected officials work for us. So we have to find a way to partner with them in order to ensure that we have the type of public policies that we need that will benefit everyone.
Develop a citizens committee, meet with community associations, have more frequent meetings for feedback.
We need to better understand what the Transportation Act is and how it works, and we need to see how projects benefit the larger communities.
Why is it that in Cobb County on the weekends, senior citizens are prisoners in their own homes because public transportation does not run in Cobb County on the weekends?
Why can't they come out with a smaller bus service or a smaller, it doesn't have to be one of those enormous buses, the bus is probably never full.
There's huge equity issues in the lack of adequate investment in sidewalks and safe crossings. Hispanics tend to be killed 6 times as often relative to the population as white people, African Americans twice as often.
Our decision makers really need to get out there, park their cars somewhere, and start walking the neighborhoods themselves and talking to the people.
but I know many can argue that we are very much still struggling. When we make choices about transportation, what are those opportunity costs that we need to consider?
I think we need to figure out what are the convenient options for people who are on the go all the time. And so I think that's how it affects me personally.
Transportation is one of those issues that we're all affected by. It's a regional issue. It's an important issue. We want to talk to folks who are stuck in traffic. We want to have conversations with folks who are, driving throughout metropolitan Atlanta and hear your thoughts.
It's very difficult to navigate throughout the communities in Gwinnett County. We have no sidewalks.
I think one of the things that we discussed was the need to hear from all constituents within the community.
The express bus needs to start earlier. They'd like to see service going to Mall of Georgia and the Civic Center.
Typically, when we have conversations about those important regional issues, rarely do we hear from folks who are affected on a day-to-day basis by those issues.
We need services, and this is how I know it. This shows it in color format.
I like the fact that people were concentrating on all the positive things that are taking place in Gwinnett County and all the opportunities that we have moving forward.
We see this not just in transportation, so we understand that. It's also, there's a correlation also between poor communities and food.
There's no county in the 29 counties around, or in the whole state of Georgia, that has more impoverished individuals than Fulton County.
So it's actually costing you more to be poor in Atlanta. There's something wrong with it.
I'm a resident of Southeast Atlanta and certainly see that there are inequities in a lot of areas across the city.
I think this bill will bring a lot of changes and benefits for the immigrants populations, whether the Spanish, the Vietnamese, the Haitian.
There's not a transportation system in place that is equitable and comprehensive in Atlanta. It doesn't exist.
Probably have an opportunity that is unique, not to any area in the country, but unique to many areas in the country.
As long as we remain silent, others will tell us what to do.
So it's not just about fairness. We need to craft some sort of larger argument. That really convinces people, compels people, right, to support this idea that it's about the regional good and a regional sense of community.
We have to come up with solutions now. The fix won't be here for years, but we have to come up with the solutions now.
It's about really coming up with a transportation system for everyone in this region.
very next step, after you leave this event, for you to plug in, if you really, really want to change your community, you have to be organized. One voice is one thing, but 1,000 voices mean a completely different response.
All of these other pieces that are interconnected around equity, low-income communities, and communities of color. You hear folks talk about health, the economy, education, housing. I think that this was a wonderful step in the process, and now we have to turn this dialogue into action.
We do share a common goal, and that goal is to make our region more prosperous.